234 young people from the Bay Area have been able to fulfill their dreams of accessing higher education thanks to the vision of a humble gardener. Catalino Tapia, who only completed 6th grade when he was in Mexico, always instilled in his children the importance of education. With much effort and work, Catalino and his wife managed to get their son to graduate from university. That would be one of the happiest days of their lives.
Watching your son get a diploma and a career, and from a university like Berkeley, is so big. It was so big for us that we were just jumping up and down, and we couldn't believe that we were there.
In addition, he couldn't believe the small number of Latino students graduating with his son.
I promised myself that one day, I didn't know what or how, I wanted to do something so more Latinos can give the opportunity to their parents to experience the happiness that I was living that night.
The big idea came one day while he was driving to Los Angeles.
Something flashed in my mind and say, you are a gardener, you work for a lot of wealthy people, why don't you ask for help, donations?
That was the beginning of the Bay Area Gardeners Scholarship Foundation. His son and 2 other colleagues took care of the legal proceedings.
It took like a year and a half for them to get me all the legal documents. But once they did, it was up to me to start the fundraising. To my surprise, within 2 weeks, I raised $10,000. And I say, thanks God, this is the way.
Since 2006, when he gave 5 scholarships for the first time, his work has not stopped. Today, 30 new students joined the list of Catalino Tapia and its foundation. Yesenia Gutierrez is one of them.
In my family, I am the first to go to high school, graduate from high school, and will now be the first to attend college. So ever since the 4th grade, ever since I was able to develop a well-spoken, I was well-spoken in English and in Spanish, I started going with my dad to his business. So he's a landscaper. So I would go from like 7 a.m. every Saturday to 2 p.m., 3 p.m., just knocking on doors, asking if they needed any landscaping services. And I was a translator between my dad and his clients. And I didn't have the opportunity to spend as much time on my schoolwork as my peers that didn't have to spend their weekend, looking for clients in order to pay the rent or have food on the table.
Instead of improving, the situation would become increasingly difficult.
When I was a freshman, we had an eviction notice that we had 30 days to leave our apartment. At the time, my dad was in Mexico because my grandma was ill. So I was the one making appointments. I was the one that had to go to these meetings with the landowners of the apartments. And it was taking a lot of time from my schoolwork, but I had to make it work. I would go look for apartments on Craigslist, and I would go to the appointments, and then I would do my homework, whatever time I had left, and study for my test.
Life has also been tough for Alejandro Garcia, a young Mexican who came to San Francisco more than 20 years ago with his mother and brother looking for a better future.
And I come from a single-parent home, and I've seen all the sacrifices that my mother has made throughout the years, not just for me and my brother, but just for herself, the sacrifices that she's had to make in order to ensure that we would be put in the right situation and with the right education to pursue our dreams of, my dream especially, of becoming an attorney. The reason why I applied to the scholarship was because of financial need. Recently, my family, my mother was detained by Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE officials. She was ambushed outside of her home at 6 a.m. in the morning one day, and without any reason, they just took her. And so that caused me to become more financially strapped.
For these young people, the foundation's contribution is very significant.
The fact that I was able to get the scholarship means a whole lot to me, just because I know that someone else out there believes in me and believes in my future, believes in my education, and is believing that I will make it far in life.
If you have the drive and if you want to really pursue your dream, the opportunities are there, and you just have to look for the opportunities. And an organization or the foundation such as the Bay Area Gardner Foundation really allows students to pursue their dreams and not necessarily be stopped by the barriers that are in the way.
After meeting Catalino and his foundation, many have been part of this journey throughout all these years.
I feel blessed to be with the organization. Catalino is a very humble servant to a community. He always says, Mario, I don't have no experience about this. So I'm there, and the board, we're there to really help propel the organization to the next level. My father was an educator. So when my father passed away in 1995, a lot of the students came to the service, and they were thanking us for what he had done for them. And it really made me think, if I was going to do something later in life, it would have to touch on education. And fortunately, what Don Catalino started really was the right opportunity for me to get involved.
Thanks to donors, sponsors, private donations, and the role of the board of directors, more youth can become professionals.
Of course, we would love to give more scholarships because there's a lot of students that qualify that we weren't unable to fulfill a scholarship because we didn't have enough money. So if there's angels out there, and I say plural, because it's unfair to rely on one company or one person to solely fund a foundation. We are looking for others.
Having these scholarships, and if the people that donate to these foundations will really make an impact on not just one person's life, but on multiple people and generations to come and years to come.
We are the new generation that's going to change the world. We're going to be the new generation that will be making changes, positive changes that will help our community. And I think we live in this era in which we're striving to have more and more minorities, taking all these different fields, whether it's law, whether it's tech, whether it's politics. It's life-changing.
As a gardener, you prepare the soil first, and then you do the planting. Same here. We are planting the seed, which are the kids that we are helping, so that they can grow and go out and provide for their families, just like a tree provides food. And on the future, they will find out that education is number one to bring food to their table and a better life for themselves and their families.
Investing in education is one of the most important things we can do, not only for our children, but for the benefit of a whole community.
Don Catalino, I'm so glad you called to ask if I would MC your Scholarship Awards ceremony over a decade ago. Over the years, I have seen the Bay Area Gardeners Foundation blossom into a great organization. Hundreds of students have attended college or university thanks to your vision, perseverance, and generosity. And a big thank you is in order for Doña Margarita and all the members of the Board of Directors who have helped you plant the seeds for a better future for so many students. Congratulations to all of you for the work you do. I think a testament of your success is seeing so many scholarship recipients graduate and come back to help out in any way they can to support the mission of the Bay Area Gardeners Foundation. Don Catalino, miembros de la Junta Directiva y estudiantes, de todo corazón les deseo que sigan cosechando éxitos.
Together, we can make a difference, one student at a time.